everyone, welcome to our second hands-on lesson. In the previous hands-on lesson, we learned together an overview on the ArcSight console and the different panels like the navigator on the left, the viewer in the middle, and the inspect edit on the right. So we have like a good start to the console. Now we try to get a good start on SmartConnector installation and registration with the console or the ESM. So we have end-to-end flow for an event. So the following lessons, when we talk about the event lifecycle and the different features, we can map it to, directly on the console, so some hands-on, and comprehend the concept more quickly. So let's jump in. Here is the landing page when you log in through the MicroFocus SSO portal, and then you go to the license and downloads until you reach, you select your entitlement. Here I have an ArcSight Express 7600 with 2500 sustained EBS server 6.11. Now we have version 7. Anyway, here you can download the SmartConnector software. So I have here some SmartConnector software. Actually, we have a new concept called framework. So MicroFocus, before they release a new SmartConnector with everything in one package, and then they change this methodology and break it down into a framework and updates. So instead of releasing every now and then a complete package, just release less frequently a framework and more frequently just an updates to this framework. So to make a new installation, new installation, you need the framework, like this framework 7.12. But after that, you can update this framework with just small chunks of updates to like update the parsers, the categorization, and this is called connector updates or content updates, something like this. So we need a framework anyway, so I downloaded it already to save time. So let's go to our machine. Actually here on purpose I will use a little bit old framework 7.9, and later on we will see how to upgrade this to the latest version, but this will be in later videos. So let's make the installation for this 7.9. I will run as administrator. I will pause the video until we reach to the main wizard to just save a few seconds. Here you get the MicroFocus window, and then this is just a platform verification. It's normal because I'm using here Windows 10, which is not supposed to be used for this kind of installation. You have on the MicroFocus community, like the supported platform document open and available. I will try to include it in the download section of this lecture, so you can, or at least a link for it, so you can get to know what is the supported platforms. So for the purpose of our lab, I will not cancel, I will continue. So getting here the installation wizard. So these are the different steps. I will click next. It will ask you for the path to the installation. So I will just choose a different folder. I will make it like syslog. I will name it a little bit slow, syslog connector. I'll put it without in a direct folder without program files, like this. ArcSight Smart Connectors, and then syslog connector. So for every new connector type, I'll make a new folder to have a better manageability of the installations, different installations. Okay, previous installation was found in the selected folder. However, ArcSite's Smart Connector installer is unable to update it automatically. Please select a different option. So it happens that I make this installation before and there's same name, so I will name it, no problem, I will name it Slot Connector 2. Next. And here I will select don't create icons. I don't want this to be spread everywhere in my workstation. I'll just have it silently installed in one place and work from there. And next, and install. It will take some time. I'll stop the video and come back when it finishes. Now we came to this. What would you like to do? Add a connector or set global parameters. So setting global parameters, I will just go for it and come back, is about some global parameters regardless of the purpose of this connector or this connector destination where this connector will send the logs. There's global parameters. Let's see, for example, FIPS mode, this is in US. Some regulations about encryption and so mainly in other parts of the world, like here in the Middle East, we don't need this. Remote management, we'll come to this later in the course. This relates to the ArcMC, the ArcSite Management Center, when it connects to the smart connectors to manage them. You have to enable this and allocate a port, range from I think 9001 until 9008 or something like this. The preferred IP version, the format preserving encryption. It's a patent encryption technique by Micro Focus for data security. They have data security technology or product which make encryption and preserve the format of the encrypted fields, and this is very useful for like database, the applications relying heavily on databases, and this is a good technique for encryption that preserves the format of the encrypted fields. So you can enable this if you have the solution from Micro Focus, and so the fields for the logs, for example, being sent to the ArcSite are getting encrypted using this format. So there should be some kind of integration with this solution. But for our lab, this is disabled. This will be the URL of that technology, that data security technology. Here, a proxy, if there is a proxy to reach the URL, that URL, and some related information like username and password to connect to this technology. So all these fields are related from format preserving encryption till the end, all related to the FPE technology, and these are the fields that need to be encrypted. So we'll not come to this at all during our course. It's very advanced and we don't need. Maybe we come to this when we could reach the ArcMC part. So getting back, I will always go to the add a connector and then press next. Here are the different connectors, smart connectors that you can use to integrate the log sources. As you can see, the list is not that big. Some reason, maybe the platform that I'm using to install the smart connector software. Here I'm using Windows 10, so you have to refer always to the configuration guides for this smart connector, the corresponding smart connector that you are targeting, like Apache Tomcat file. You have to refer to the configuration guide for this smart connector to know if this is a supported platform or not. So, for example, if you are targeting Windows installation, Windows connector, you cannot install this software smart connector on a Linux server, because simply this Windows Smart Connector will not appear in this list. So the platform that you are installing the software Smart Connector on it is contributing to the number or the long list that you see here, the list length that you see here. Okay. So for our purpose of this lesson, we just need a syslog connector. So I will just write quickly on my keyboard SYS for syslog. See, syslog daemon. I select the syslog daemon and press next. It's good that we saw during the installation wizard that when I typed syslog connector, I get error message that there is already a smart connector installed on my workstation for syslog. So the default port is 514, the one I used for that smart connector. And very often this happens when you have multiple instances of smart connectors being installed on the same workstation or the same server. This happens, and this is sometimes required if you want to make a distribution of your logs among multiple instances of smart connectors for sake of load balancing. So because each instance of a smart connector is actually a Java virtual machine, has a certain resources in terms of hardware and memory, and you don't want to compromise the resources of each smart connector instance, so you are well distributing the logs among them. In that case, you select a different port for every instance. So I assume that my old one has 514, so I will select 515, for example. And to verify this, you can open any command prompt and make a netstat minus all and n for don't resolve, and then pipeline find string and the port 514 to see. Yes, it's not listening, so maybe this smart connector I installed in the past and then I uninstalled or deleted but not well cleaned it. So the port is not there, the service is not listening. If we open the services, I cannot see that I have any ArcSight Smart Connector service, but the folder, maybe I am uninstalled, the service is removed, but I didn't delete the folder itself. That's why here I have inside the ArcSight Smart Connectors, I have this one is there, but the folder is there. But it's good that we face this situation. Just to tell you my experience here, that you can use that option, that command to check if there is a listening port on 514. Anyway, if you selected it and it was used already, you'll get an error, so you just get to another port. And here is the protocol, UDP and IP address where syslog will listen for incoming messages. So leave it all. You can restrict this for sure. And forwarder, and this means that you can forward. You are telling that the smart connector here will act like a forwarder for this. It will act as a forwarder step in the flow of the event, so it just makes a forwarder to maybe another upstream smart connector or node in the ArcSight ecosystem. So leave it as false and then press next. Verification process, verifying the parameters, and here are the different options for a destination.